Hi, this is Patricia Beretta, and I would like to share with you my morning routine. It's based on the so-called 5 Tibetan rites. So just a word of caution, this is something that's quite strenuous on the body. But only try it, first have a look at the video and then see if this is for you. And only try it if you have experience of yoga stretches, you're flexible, and you have quite some upper body strength, and you don't have low back pain, and you're not pregnant, and you don't tend to be dizzy. Otherwise, this is something that I've been doing every morning for several months, and it feels just awesome. So the first of those 5 practices, those 5 so-called Tibetan rites, is to spin on the spot. So we're going to just breathe a couple of breaths, open the arms to the sides. Each move or practice is repeated 21 times. So just first build 5 repetitions for several days, and then 7 and 9 and so on, until you can do up to 21. But we're going to do 21 today. We turn the head to the right, turn the head to your right, and start spinning. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, if you have dizziness, vertigo issues, this is 5, 6. This might not be, try it before. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and the last spin, 21. So we spin towards the right. Bring the head back to the middle, and then as a transition, I've made up my own transitions. I just stand like this, and I'm just gonna move my hands up and down to loosen the wrists. The next practices will be demanding on the wrist, especially in backward flexion like this. So I'm just warming up my wrists in anticipation of the next moves. Perfect. The second one is a chest opener. So we're gonna go on our knees. Feel free to use a towel or a pillow if standing on your knees is too hard. The toes are on the floor, the heels are up, and we're just gonna open the chest like this. So we start with the head down, breathing in, the breastbone shines forward, breathing out, the breastbone goes in. That was 1, 2, breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. 3, it's as if the shoulders were not moving, but the chest makes a big movement between the shoulders. 4, 5, 6, so the hands are at the back of the thighs. 8, breathing through the nose. 9, 10, breathe out through the mouth. 11, 12, 13, I think I'm at 15 now. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Then what I'm going to do is a little practice that's good to floss the nerves to the thighs. So I go back, and when I can't go back anymore, I just sit down. This is a really good practice. So it's not part of the 5 Tibetan rites, but I'm adding it. Go down. That's a nice thigh stretcher. And bend at the hips. One more time. Go back. Bend at the hips. It flushes the nerves and it frees the nerves there. And then just sitting on your heels with the toes up is a great way to stretch the feet and expand the bottom of the foot. It's good for plantar fasciitis. So again, that's not part of the rites. Usually we move to the next one. A little practice that I'm doing here as well is letting my ribs collapse towards the hip. So I'm bending, letting the ribs collapse towards the hip and back. Second time. That's a nice waist loosener. Again, not part of the 5 Tibetan rites, but I'm adding this in the transition time. And then other side, letting the side ribs collapse towards the hip, bending at the waist. You might feel a bit of compression. Organs might not be used to be put in that position, the intestine and the kidneys, but that's a good one. Very nice. Then we move on to number 3. Number 3 is for the abdominal muscles. So again, do not attempt if you have back issues or if your abdominal muscles are not strong enough to keep your back flat the whole time. And it's about raising your legs and your head at the same time. So I tend to have my hands under my thighs. Again, just make sure that this is something that works for you. Don't do more than what is comfortable for your body. And starting. First, I bring my belly button to the spine and the spine to the mat, and I keep it that way the whole time. And breathing in, lifting the legs, lifting the head. Breathing out, dropping. Number 1, keep the abdominal muscles engaged. Number 2, number 3, number 4. The abdominal muscles should be engaged the whole time so that your back doesn't arch at any time. Your back should stay stabilized by the abdominal muscles. Number 7. Number 8. Nine. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. Keep the abdominal muscle engaged, especially when you lower the legs. We don't want the back to be unstable. 18. 19. 20. 21. Here, to increase the challenge, we can keep the feet just off the ground and the head just off the ground for a second, and then drop everything. And then I bring my arms above my head to stretch the belly. Now that we've done a good workout for the abdominal muscles, it's nice to stretch them as a counter stretch. Then we're going to do practice number 4. So this one is strenuous on the shoulders and the upper body. And also on the wrist, I'm going to loosen my wrists first because we're going to be doing a tabletop, like an inverted table. So we start with the legs straight. The hands are at the level of the hips, fingers pointing forward, so not behind, not in front, but at the level of your sitting bones on each side. And we're going to go into a tabletop. Again, have a look, make sure that this is something you're comfortable doing, that you have experience doing. Otherwise, I will have adapted versions of this for certain physical limitations or lack of experience of this type of moves. So do not attempt if you do not have experience of this. So tabletop, but overall, this is a great, great, great practice. Whether we do it this way or with adaptations, adapted moves, it's really, really good for health. So we go feet flat on the floor, lifting the knees, lifting the hips, and looking back. 1. And then I slip my bum between my hands. Number 2, keeping the arms straight and bringing my hips 4. And the head goes down when we sit. 5, 6, 7, 8, keep breathing. 9, 10, 'Make sure that nothing hurts. Otherwise, we'll work on adapted versions in a later video. I think I'm at 14. Sometimes I lose count. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. And I'm going to stay there for a couple of seconds. And back again. Nothing should hurt. Perfect. Here, as a transition, I shake my wrists to loosen them up, and I touch my toes. So within your zone of comfort, whether you can reach the shins, the ankles, just a little bit of a stretch with a straight back and bending over. Again, that's not part of the 5 Tibetan rites, but I'm adding this to make it like a very complete health and wellness practice for flexibility and muscle stamina. Very nice. So the fifth one is based on cobra and downward dog. So this is the way I'm doing it is demanding on the upper body, but you can do it in an easier way. I'll first do the easier way, and then I'll show you the way I do it. So with the knees and the thigh on the floor, toes on the floor, heels up, within your zone of comfort, so a little bit of stretching of the back. So we alternate from the cobra pose to going into downwards dog. So if you have experience of yoga, that's not a big deal. You're used to that. If not, again, we might need to do some practices to build up towards being able to do that. So don't attempt it if it's not within your zone of comfort. And then we go down. So that was number 1. 2. So just lifting the hips up and getting the heels down to stretch the back of the legs as low as possible. If they stay up, that's okay, but like trying to attempt to get the heels down, get your nice calf stretch and down. So this is the conventional way of doing them. I'm doing them adding some arms and shoulder strengthening. So I push the bottom of my palms to go into the downward dog. And then I go down, bending at the elbows and lifting the head up. Number 3, push, 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 push. Number 4, so you can do the easier version, that doesn't matter. It's within your zone of comfort. 5, 6, push. 7, 8, 9, again, just do the number of repetitions that your body is comfortable with without hurting. 10, building up to 21. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. At first, I wasn't comfortable in the cobra. It was too much arching of my back. But with practice, it became quite comfortable, actually. 16, 17. So this can be quite strenuous on the body. Also gives you a cardio workout. 18, 19, 20, 21. Push, push, push. And I stay there a few more seconds, keeping the arms straight, shoulder blades away from each other, pushing on the hand, pushing on the heels, and finishing 21. And from here, to complete the practice, I go into child pose. And then I add a stretch, which is the stretch where I'm the least flexible to finish the whole sequence. I'm really stiff there. I have tight muscles, so trying to open the legs, keeping the back straight, trying to lean forward a little bit. If you're flexible, you'll go forward, no problem, but as you can tell, I need quite a bit of this one, which is why I've added it. But also it makes the practice more rounded. Perfect. This was my morning practice. I've been doing it for several months and really enjoying the way it makes me feel, based on the 5 Tibetan rites, which is said to be a practice that's good for longevity, stamina, and vibrant health. So this is something I'm going to try to do as I age gracefully, for as much as I can stay within my zone of comfort and adapt it at some point if I need to, or if there are reasons for me to do that. Great, I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to see you soon.